Welcome to my craft space. As you can see, this is a standard 2-door built-in robe, and that's the door open now. We didn't even actually remove the pole, the hanging pole. I've left that there so that when I'm working on particular things, I can actually hang them there, like if I want them up to dry. And sometimes I clip little things up in here while I'm working. The shelf at the top, I've popped in some IKEA cube boxes to use as drawers. And up here, I've put little labels on them. And these ones have disappeared, but I put little labels on them so I know what's actually in them. And that's where you keep all the general bits and pieces, like packaging and so on, so that I know where it is, but it's not quite so junky. When I'm working on certain projects, I like to try and keep them tidy, which isn't always doable, but I've got my under construction project, and here you can see where I've got different pattern pieces cut out. I can't actually remember how long ago I cut those out, but I haven't finished it yet. And of course, all kinds of trim and flowers, lace, ribbons, and other findings. It's really important that you have enough clearance when you're opening and closing the door, so that whatever you've got on here isn't so deep that it's going to stop the door from closing. I bought this one at Bunnings, and it's got these little tiny holes here. Now, those little tiny holes actually can hook in as many shelves as you want to, depending on their height and their depth. I've chosen these little wire shelves that are part of the system, these ones here, and they have these little hooks on the back, so you can actually just like lift them up and lock them back in. They come in different depths, so this depth here, depending on what kind of clearance you've got, and of course different heights, so you can put different things in them. I've made this taller so that I can put in these canisters here, and in here I store my hot glue gun, very important, and a whole lot of other different types of glues, as well as patterns that I'm actually working on at the moment. On the right hand door, I've installed the same system, which is the clever shelving system that you saw before, and I've actually only got one basket here. Now, this particular shelf is where I keep my camera gear. So what I've done is I've included just a low basket, because I want to be able to put all my chargers and things in here so that I don't lose them, because I'm constantly losing those around the house. And of course, all of my tripods and other gear goes into here. To stop it falling forward, rather than having a really tall or deep basket, I've used curtain wire, and I've attached that here to these little screws, so that should we need to, you can actually quite easily detach this system, or I can slip things in and out, and it holds quite a bit. But this way I can keep all my reflectors and everything really neat rather than them kicking around the room. Underneath the desk, I've used a similar system for all my wrapping paper, as well as a few small rolls of fabric and other bits. So we've used the same curtain wire in here and secured this into the frame of the wardrobe so that we can actually open that out whenever I need to get to any of these pieces. To create the desktop and to make it really stable so that it would hold the weight of the sewing machines, what we've done, well, actually what the mister did, was using timber actually created a frame, a rectangular frame, and then it's been reinforced in a couple of spots, and it also has this centerpiece here to stop any bowing of the desk. And that frame is actually anchored straight into the wall with the screws. So the MDF sits directly on top of the frame. You can see that we've also used a hole saw to drill a section right through the MDF desk. And the reason that I've done that is so that we can actually put the cables down there, and I've run those to this power board. Now this is where I've actually plugged in all the lighting for the area as well as my chargers, and I can plug in my sewing machines when I'm working with that. And that just simply sits on top of this little chest of drawers where I keep all of my threads and what else have we got in here? There we go, paper. All of my paper craft stuff. Lots of nice little stickers and things so that I can get to them really, really easily. I've used the tiny little 3M hooks here to attach the cables for the lighting, and this lighting system is absolutely perfect for this setup. This is a LED strip lighting system that I've purchased at IKEA, and I've got, I think, maybe 2 sets put in, but wow, does it make a difference. So this LED lighting is really, really bright, and I've simply attached that using double-sided tape underneath the shelf section so that the light directionally points straight down onto my work area. I've also added a secondary strip of LED lighting right underneath my corkboard. So this means it gives me really good close task lighting while I'm doing drawing or any other fine type work. To the left hand side, I've used a little tiny piece of cut off curtain railing, and I've actually attached that with a curtain hook. So it can simply be lifted up and all of the tape and ribbon can be changed over. But it makes it really, really easy to just pull the ribbon that I want if I'm doing a project or wrapping, and it's right there for me. Down here I've put a shelf in, which once again I can remove if I want to, but instead of using a standard shelf bracket, I've again used these double U-shaped curtain brackets. The reason for that is that should I need extra ribbon storage, or I'd like to hang things, I can put in another section through here of either pipe or rope or something like that if I need to hang things through there. The surface itself, for a work surface, I've just got this piece of felt that I keep on top of that, and that means that if I'm using my hot glue gun and I don't want to get glue or bits of that on top of the melamine work surface, that's just going to keep that clean and neat. And the hole for the cables sits right under here. So this is just my little trash bin from Daiso. I can actually keep both of my sewing machines here as well, because when I actually measured this out for dimensions, I determined that I needed to put the shelves at the correct height to fit my main sewing machine, which is this one here, in the corner, and then also my overlocker. When I'm using the machines, I just simply bring those out and plug them in. The shelves above them, one of them was just a little cut-off bit of the MDF that we'd used before, and another spare wooden shelf I'd found lying around, and I've just trimmed those up with some fabric tape that I found at Daiso as well. It's really cute. It's got little love hearts and things on it, and that just helps to bring the whole theme together. And my plastic plant, because of course no real ones are going to live inside a wardrobe. The books that I'm working on, and some of my other little kits, and of course any other lighting that I like to use. So this is one of my camera lights that I use for different tutorials. But you can see how from a wardrobe that just had a whole bunch of mending in it, and every time you opened the door things just kind of fell on you, this is a much better use of my space. And it's much cuter. Yay! So whether it's craft tutorials that I've been working on, or mending things or drawing or whatever, it makes it a really, really good space to actually achieve everything I need to, and to store my camera gear, and my books and a whole lot of stuff, keeping it neat and easy to find. And the best part is whenever you're halfway through a project, you can simply just close the door on it before you have to walk out and go somewhere. So there's no more of that, you know, leaving it half set up on the kitchen bench, which is fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of my little craft makeover wardrobe section here, and I look forward to showing you tutorials for all kinds of things I'm working on at the moment. Thanks for watching!